All right. Well, shoot, I might just start spitting right now because I gotta.
Let's start.
I
Yeah,
got.
come on. Until he, yeah.
All right. So did you see the argument?
You were talking JJ and we're
It
talking
was
JJ.
JJ and Stephen A. Smith. So they're going at it right now.
Yes.
Basically, the difference between the old era and the new era, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So this is my opinion. So JJ Redick has a lot of good points, and Stephen A. Smith actually had some decent points as well, which is sometimes not his specialty in basketball. And that's not a knock on Stephen A. Smith. It's just that he's a media personality, right?
Yeah.
So, but JJ is very well informed in the game of basketball. So is CJ McCollum, et cetera.
Certainly.
But JJ is basically talking about how people love to knock on the new age because of the nostalgia of the 70s, 80s, 90s, right?
Yep.
Really the 80s and 90s. And yes, that is definitely true. And so he's saying that like older people get upset because they say they complain. And then he went into this rant about Gary Payton, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, all those guys complain too, this, that, and the other. This is what I would say is one, everybody just needs to appreciate basketball for what it is and the growth of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like there was really good basketball in the 80s or 90s, and there's really good basketball now. The difference for me is that basketball has transitioned, right?
Yeah.
The skill level has grown so much since the 80s and 90s that it's hard to keep up with. So now, but to say that, so one of the arguments that somebody in the 80s or 90s might have is that it's not team basketball anymore, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that is a case in a lot of organizations. Even in the NBA, it's the case in a lot of organizations. Now, that's also because the skill level is at an all-time high right now. And so these individuals are able to get a ball screen and go make something happen for somebody.
Yep.
Now, I would counter this, is that you also, this is to go at devil's advocate towards JJ Redick, okay, would be that one of the reasons they might have a hard time watching the game of basketball is because travels aren't called anymore.
Yeah.
Double dribbles aren't called.
Yeah.
Right? All these things that like are just basic.
There hasn't been a carry called in 15 years.
Carried, moving screens, right?
Yeah.
But then we're going to be so uptight about like if he's going into a shot, a swoop rule and stuff like that. So it's kind of, it's the basketball world is, the basketball game is changing. Now, however, I think that these rules need to be more cracked down on rather than saying you can't sweep through, it's on the ground, et cetera, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get back to the fundamentals of it. Now, going to the next point, which also comes to the refs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder job to ref now than it is the 80s and 90s.
Now, like Mike Woods was saying, the rules are behind, so the refs are the refs are, you know, the rules are always behind, so it's hard for the refs to keep up.
Yes. Who said that?
Because Mike Woods. Remember Mike Woods when we had him on here, a while back.
Oh yeah. So that is, I not even, but yes, that is exactly.
I can't remember what episode that was, but that was the name of the episode. The rules are, yeah.
100%. So that's something that's big that's happening right now, in my opinion. But then, so you talk about the 70s, 90s guys, right? They talk about how basketball, it's a one-on-one game, et cetera, whatever. Well, yes, that is the case. But if you also watch the Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of team basketball. Now, occasionally,
the great thing about the playoffs is because the longer you go, I mean, the more team you have, the more of a team you have to be.
Yeah, and so although I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, right? And LeBron James was bringing them into this, like, you know, making finals after finals, 1-1 in 2016. This is what I would say is it almost came to the point where I was rooting for Golden State because of the style of basketball they were playing. Not because they were taking all these threes, but because of how much they were sharing the ball compared to Kyrie Irving would catch it, ball screen. If that didn't work, back out, ISO maybe. LeBron James, similar. And LeBron James, if he, like, it's like KD, how KD blossomed, right, under Golden State.
Yep.
And yes, obviously, was he a top two player in the league? Yeah, was he a top two player in the league at the time? Absolutely. But at the same time, like, his efficiency went up drastically because of the style of play, because it's like, oh, I don't have to have the ball in my hands every single second.
Well, I think his efficiency went up too because of a couple of his teammates that he had as well. But yeah.
Yes. But also, this is another part that JJ Redick was saying was the Russell Westbrook argument. Russell Westbrook has never been a bad basketball player.
No,
I give him a hard time sometimes. I give, has he won? Dude made the finals when he was like early 20s. You know,
Well,
it wasn't like he had an easy road.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to play with KD, but KD was young too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that was almost a three-headed. That was a team. That was a load of. I mean, yes, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Russell Westbrook did make a finals.
Now, this is what I would say about Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook had to transition his game as well because of the stars that he lost. Okay, so all of a sudden, instead of getting to play within a system, which it's not like it was the best or most complex system, right?
Yeah.
When Kevin Durant was there, but it was more of a system compared to when he left.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, I got to do it all myself or I'm not going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
So to knock Russell Westbrook, I've had to take a dive back because I personally think I was the first one that said triple doubles doesn't mean anything unless you win games. But Russell Westbrook was just trying to do everything he could to keep his team in the games. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Kind of.
When Kevin Durant
in his mind, he was doing everything to keep his team in the game.
But when Kevin Durant had left. Now, I would also say Dante Sabonis, great player. Victor Oladipo was reaching that status, but wasn't maybe quite not there until he got to the Pacers.
Yeah.
But that also speaks on the Pacers. What did the Pacers do? Played together, moved the ball, played as a team. I just think that if somebody actually told Westbrook, I don't think he's arrogant enough to not buy into it. That's what I'm going to say, because I think he is a major competitor.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He is a major competitor.
You know what I'm saying?
The benefit of the doubt, but I need to know who said it and how he said it and how.
Sure.
I need
100%.
to see that somebody said it before.
And I'm playing devil's advocate. 100%. I'm playing devil's advocate right now. But all I'm trying to say is this: the 80s and 90s were a great brand of basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. And although you could say that they played great team basketball, at the same time, Michael Jordan was going to catch it probably mid-post, and he was going to ISO. So it all of a sudden wasn't like they were sharing the crap out of the ball either at certain times.
Yeah.
Now, other times, yes, was Paxton getting involved? Was, Dennis Rodman able to create a lot of stuff because of his board coverage, et cetera? Was Pippen doing a lot of great things? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you look back at it and you look at the Jazz, right, now they never won a championship, but their best players were Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Yep.
They were sure passing the heck out of the ball considering it's an all-time assist leader.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I talk about a couple of NBA things that
please. I'm muting my mic. Go.
No, we don't have to mute your mic before we get into Coach Stroud, who's going to join us here in a second. All right. So I guess the Richard Jefferson thing, right, about the shortened season, and they were talking, and Richard Jefferson, did you hear that? Richard Jefferson came out and be like, don't shorten the season. Part of greatness is longevity, and you can't shorten the season. Did you hear that?
I read something similar about that on Twitter. I think JJ Redick Redick and CJ McCollum were talking about how people, like the staff, made them rest. But keep going. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to kind of tie it into what you were talking about good basketball back then, good basketball now, and how the game has changed anyway. But I heard the Richard Jefferson thing, and so I'm going to talk about this. So I heard the Richard Jefferson thing. I was listening to Ryan Russillo, his podcast. I'm a huge Ryan Russillo fan. He was talking about how the shortened season is basically how the season is almost already shortened. So he did some research and he went up and looked up the top 25 scores from this year. And the top 25 scores, not like the top 25 scores straight up, no matter how many games, some people got, anyway, the top 25 scores from this past NBA season missed an average of 23 games, which is over a quarter of the season, right? So basically, if you're talking about the top 25 guys, the season is already shortened, right? And one more point to that. So we went back like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the top 25 scorers missed an average of 6 games. 6 games. In 5 years, that's an 18-game jump from 5 games to 6 games, whatever. 17.
That's massive. Yeah.
18 games. That's a massive jump. And so I just heard Richard Jefferson talking about that. I heard Russillo's take on it. I thought it was really good. However you feel about the shortened season, I just thought it was interesting that all of a sudden now, we talk about how the game has changed, maybe shortened the season, injuries and stuff. I don't know what all went into that, but it was interesting that now all the guys have basically by default shortened their own season. Kawhi has come out and said he's only going to play 62 games for the rest of his career. Kawhi has pretty much come out and said that. The other thing I wanted, you talked about something earlier about good basketball in the 80s and then in the 90s as well. And moving on, good basketball now. And I want to, the game has, since the 3-point line, the game has moved further and further away from the basket. Some people, the post isn't as big, you don't need a post, not a down low guy. Anyway, so I was just thinking about how as the game and people, you were talking about how now people complain, not team basketball, too much individual. My thing is that, as the game moves further away from the basket, you kind of need more individual skill level in order to get by and, create for other people, more skill to get by, create, dish, get to the basket and actually score, because now you're being pushed out further. You're looking at the 3-point line as opposed to looking at, the lane and, the mid-range area.
Skill, see, and this is the problem, is skill should never hurt the game of basketball.
Yeah.
The more skill, the better the game of basketball, period, right? And it's what you value. It's what you value as skill, right? Because passing is a skill. One more pass is a skill. Can you read the game? Rebounding is a skill. Ball handling. I mean, Kyrie Irving has a miraculous skill, right? That nobody almost can even touch because of how great it is. I completely agree. The further the game has gotten from the basket, the more it is relied on guards.
Yep.
And so that's why you've seen the loss of a traditional big. That does not mean that all of a sudden you can't have a traditional big, right?
Right. No, not at all.
It's just all depending on what you want. And I mean, that's why I think the Celtics have a knot in the paint right now, is they got to get back to rebounding and throwing it up. And it's not going to be a back to the basket game, right? Which is even different than 10 years ago with Paul Gasol, Shaq. I mean, that was, I guess, longer than 10 years ago, but you get what I'm saying? That is the beauty of the game. And so people that are saying it's like, oh, it's only ball screen and it's very individualized. It's like, dude, there are more people working on the statistics and analyzing the game of basketball now than what's ever been done before. So that's why the game is shifting. And what it looks like now and 10 to 15, 20 years from now, for me and you to sit here and be like, oh, well, 2022 was the best brand of basketball. The best brand of basketball.
Yeah.
That would be silly and that'd be arrogant of us to not recognize the growth that so many people are taking it.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't mean that basketball wasn't really, really good during 2022.
Yeah.
It was just different.
And, man, we just playing a lot of games, man. These guys are. I like my group, and I'm pretty harsh on them in June, but I like my group this time, man. I like my group every year, but I really like this group. They're good.
I hear you.
Coach, I'll go ahead and get you introduced real quick. We got Coach Antoine Stroud joining us on the show today, head coach at Druid Hills High School in Atlanta. Atlanta native, correct, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Atlanta native, played at Southwest DeKalb, was an assistant coach at Duluth, at Stone Mountain, was at Shiloh for 6 years, and then the head coach at Druid Hills. Coach, appreciate you coming on, man. Just what's going on with you?
Man, just summer league and just getting these guys. I love June so much, man. NBA Finals.
June's a great.
Yeah, I know, man. We out of school, like it's great. Like I don't have to teach. Everything's just good, man. It's hot, but it's all good. But just these guys, man, and this team, just trying to get them prepared for that next level.
Yeah.
We don't have a pretty good group at this time, man. So
what does preparing them in the summer in June look like for you?
So it's crazy, man, because everybody kind of have their own theory on how to do things. My thing is, I like my kids to play a lot of games.
Yes,
I know a lot of people don't. Yeah, I'm not really a practice guy in June. I'm more of a play guy, man. I like to play. I like for them to get up and down, man, and they want to play. So we're playing 34 games this summer, yeah, man, just let them play. I mean, I can sit and work you out all day, and we can practice all day, but until you get in that game, get some game management, man, and just learn how to play. Because we got pretty much a new group. I mean, we obviously were 25-5 last year, region champions. But those guys that we have now, they didn't really play much last year, so they the next up and coming guys. So I just think they need more like game action. So for the summer, man, for me, it's just playing, man, developing. Just hearing me cuss and scream all day. They need that. They need it. Yeah. Like my assistant coach is like, man, when you gonna let us coach? I'm like, give me a couple more days. I think they need to hear my voice for the first week or two, and then after that, because in Georgia we just play in June, obviously. I think Tennessee too, and then I know they go to AAU in July. So, man, just let them play, man. Just let them play. Let them have some fun. But these kids, man, they want it so bad. I mean, we came up a little short in the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
And eight guys are coming back. Like I say, 2 of the 8 guys played a lot. I mean, they played a lot of minutes. And the other 6 guys are They didn't play as much as they wanted to, but hell, they playing now. So they've been stepping it up, man. We got a good group. I give them
That's awesome.
great kids. Yeah, they're great kids, man. I like being around them. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite thing that you just said is letting them play. I think that gets lost a lot now. Everybody wants to do the skill development, which is great. I'm not knocking that at all. Everybody needs to develop their skill. And Asa and I were actually talking about that a little bit about how much the game is developed skill-wise. But no, I definitely think the value of basketball and being a good team is learning how to play together and learning the ins and outs that you can't do in a specific individual skill session. So I really, really like that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
I'm so glad you said you playing 34 games because I was about to say when my going in my junior year I was changing schools and so I was with a new team, and that summer in June we played 30 games. So by the time we got to the season, I had already played a whole season with them in the summer. And I thought that was like the best thing. We played a whole season, and too many high school coaches, they go to 1-2 team camps, play 2 games a day, 3 games a day, call it a summer after 6 games. Yeah. I'm like, y'all got a chance to literally play a whole season here, put your whole system in, let that play out, and then come back in the fall, and y'all are step ahead of everybody. I don't know why coaches don't take more advantage of that.
Man.
Asa, you literally talked about it as like you love simplicity. Like you love keeping things simple, concise, You've talked about that before. So that, completely.
Coach, you got the job in 2019, correct? At Druid Hills, is that right?
Yep, May of 2019. Yep.
But I just talk to us about Druid Hills, kind of what it's been like, and maybe some struggles you've gone through.
Man.
What things you've experienced since being that first-time head coach.
Man, first day I got the call, I was happy, but I was nervous because I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. My dad actually was my boss my final year as an assistant, so I worked for him, and I remember he told me, he said, man, don't take this job. Don't do it. You need to go figure out something. You need to go find another job. So what I did was I interviewed at Druid Hills in February of 2019. And man, they didn't call me. They called me back, and I went for a second interview in like April. And I was like, man, y'all better hurry up because I got a few people that want to take me. Because I could have easily just stayed at that school, Stone Mountain High School. I could have just easily stayed there. Because they were giving me the job. I mean, I had it. People thought I was crazy. I was like, man, why don't you just take it? You're already there. It's like, nah, it just wasn't a good fit at the time. And, I had to take a leap of faith, man. So I took the job in May, and we had obviously had June workouts and playing. We didn't play 34 games that summer, but we might have played 25 because I got the job kind of late. So it was kind of hard for me to so I take the job, and I mean, I'm driving to the gym every day, and I'm just like, man, I'm a head coach. I can't believe I'm so happy, right? Mm-hmm. So I get there the first couple of days of workouts, and I'm like, did I do the right? Did I make the right choice? So the pieces started falling into place, man. And we actually made the state tournament my first year there. We finished 13-16. We lost 12 games within 5 points. Mm-hmm. So it was just And then so we played Upson Lee the first round, Kentavious Caldwell Pope's high school, and we played them at Upson Lee. Upson Lee had won like 90 games in a row like 2 years prior to that. And nobody had beat them in there. We were up 6 with 3 minutes to go and lost. It was hard. It was hard to close it out in there. So we lose. So I'm getting ready for next year. And then the pandemic hits. 2020 hits. March of 2020 hits. I don't know if we're going to have a season. So the next year comes. We played 4 games. We couldn't get through it. Everybody was getting COVID. We had COVID everywhere. Everybody was getting coaches. We had players. We had parents. Everybody. My whole program got wiped out because of COVID, including myself, right? So after 4 games, we shut it down. Couldn't get through it. So we finished 2-2. So I'm going, okay. At this point, I'm like, okay. Now at this point, I'm 15-18, my career record, right?
Yep.
I'm like, all right. So next year, which was this past year, so I'm gonna put together the weakest schedule that you would ever see in your life. I'm gonna get the weakest teams that you ever see, and I'm gonna just go out there and I'm gonna try to win 30 games. And what a year we had. 25-5. I had the player of the year in Keyshawn Evans. He signed with Voorhees College. Yep. I won coach of the year on 3 different occasions. He won player of the year on 3 different occasions. He won AJC player of the year. He got AJC first team. He won region player of the year. I mean, he was clearly the best player in the region. And we had some dogs in the region. We finished the season ranked number 5 with the same guys. like we had 4 seniors, but those guys that weren't going to play much, they came in. It was crazy, coach. It was crazy because they came in. We played about 40 games last summer because we didn't play. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it up to even more games this time. We gotta get kids to play.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay. So we go in last summer, and the kids were like, look, coach, we know we didn't play before a game. We want to win. And you could tell, man, because we were having like 6 o'clock in the morning workouts, and like the kids were beating me there.
Yeah.
Like they were literally at the door, like, coach, where are you? And I'm like, it's like 5:30 a.m. I'm like, dude, I'm pulling up. Like everybody's here waiting. And like they constantly were doing it. They loved lifting weights, man. They love lifting weights. Like I've never seen a group of kids that love weights and conditioning. It was almost like they were like, "Oh, we're going to the track today to run 3 miles." They're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "No, you're not supposed to like that. Like you're not supposed to." But I knew the end, man. I knew going in. So we played fall league as well, right before the season, man. And I mean, it was these kids. They were awesome, man. They were awesome. I mean, we had the best defensive team in the county. We had one of the best defensive teams in the state, man. They just bought in. They bought in and they stayed like that all year. I mean, like I say, we finished number 5 team in the state. We were ranked number 7, 8, and I had like 6 guys that played. We only had played like 6 guys, and finally it came to an end, man. We were playing McDonough High School. Man, they got a heck of a team. They lost in the Final Four, but they got a heck of a team, man. Athletic, just really good. We lost by 5, man. It was a great basketball game. Great high school basketball game. But man, we sold it out. We sold out pretty much all our home games. I mean, it was crazy in there. Like and I was just fortunate, man.
Is that when the crowd started coming? Did y'all do anything in particular? Was it just being involved in the school, just wins?
Man, it was a combination of both. I mean, those guys, the seniors, were really good friends with our SGA president. And the SGA president was like, yo, you going to the game? And people were like, yeah, okay. And they would come to the game, and it was like we win by 30. And then they'd come to another game, win by 40.
Yeah.
And then, because I was a little worried about us, because our schedule wasn't that great, and we had some really good teams in the region, like Marist School. That's where Sean McVay went, the Rams coach. He went there.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are really good. I mean, like really good. Move the ball. We beat them in the region championship game.
Really?
And yeah, man, look, I was more shocked than people. I know a lot of people, oh man, I can't believe it. I'm like, dude, you can't believe it. I'm coaching these guys. Hell, I can't believe it. But they worked so hard, man. I mean, this was one of my favorite. I've had pros, coach. I've had pros. I've had college guys. This was one of my favorite teams, man. They just, and I mean, they set the standard for the next group of guys, because the guys that we have now, again, they didn't play much, but they never had a bad attitude because they knew they were up next. And I mean, we've been playing these last 2 days, and it's like you guys look like y'all, like, you know, you look like those guys last year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just good vibes, man. It's really good vibes. They love it. It's player led. I don't really have to say much to those guys. I always chew them out, but because I'm a little different on the court. But
what you
but
mean?
it's player led.
What you mean exactly?
Man, I don't know. I like to compete, man, and I love the game, and I have confidence in all my kids, man. I really do have a lot of confidence. I don't know. I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word trick, because I don't really trick them. But I think that, all of my guys that I have, I think they're really, really good, regardless of what other people think. I think I'm going to play you a lot of minutes. If you start for me, if you first 2 off the bench, you're going to play a lot of minutes. You just are. You're going to play 25 plus, 23 plus. And, just instill that confidence. I tell kids all the time, man, if you play for me, you're gonna play. And as a staff, we really do a good job of, promise. We don't really promise some things, but we tell them, yo, if you're in the starting lineup, you're going to play a lot of minutes. Yeah. And I think that gives a kid confidence. We let you play through your mistakes. Yeah. Kid turn the ball over. It's not the end of the world. I'm just, I yell at guys when they don't hustle back or when they don't take a charge, but miss shots and stuff like that, man. That stuff happens. I mean, that's why Keyshawn won Player of the Year last year, because, I mean, he was missing. Guys miss shots. He grabbed a rebound, put it back in. So, I'm not mad at missed shots, but, our program is good, man. We run a tight ship, and I hold them accountable, hold them to a standard. Yep. And they like it. They like the structure. They like the organization of the program. But, like I say, man, tell people all the time, it's not me. It's them because they're the ones that got to sacrifice to get up early. We all do, but it takes a lot for you to get up out that bed and really, come in and work every day. Just got to, like I say, man, they're a good group, good friends off the floor. It's no, guys win first team or reading second team. Them guys don't care. Like I had one of my starters last year. We have, out of my 5 starters, all of them got some type of accolade. Keyshawn was player of the year. Nick was all region second team. Harry was all region second team. And Karan was honorable mention. David is our heart and soul. David will be back this year. Him and Nick will be back this year. David's our heart and soul coach, and he didn't get anything. And so I told him, right after the season, when the accolades were coming out, I told him, man, don't worry about it. And he told me, Coach, I just want to win. I could care less about accolades. I didn't deserve to get accolades. Nick was averaging 12. I don't need accolades. I want to win.
Yeah, you need those guys on your team.
I was about to say, you got the best group, man. When you player-led teams, when you got a group that wants to set the standard for the group behind them, I mean, you can't ask for a better culture setting, Yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable, man. You got some incredible kids.
Yeah, and it's crazy because none of them, I mean, are they Division I players? No. But are they Division I when it comes to, like, working hard and attitude and grades? Heck, yeah.
Are they Division II players?
Yeah, David is, and Nick is, for sure.
David. What year did you say they are? Are they rising seniors?
David and Nick are rising seniors.
Okay, just make sure that nobody else listens to this podcast because
I got you.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, man.
We'll be in
touch.
Sure.
Like my kid Josiah Williams. I mean, Josiah didn't play much last year, and we got him in midway through the year from Alabama. He wasn't eligible to January. He wasn't playing much because he had to learn the system, he had to get in shape. He was just getting with us.
Sure.
We had won 11 straight when we got him. So it was kind of, Karan gets in foul trouble. Nick gets in foul trouble. First playoff game, I throw Josiah out there. He scored 12 points in 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he told me, Coach, I got to learn the system. Simple as that. Y'all won 11 straight. I came into a team that was ranked 8th in the state at the time. I'm not going to play much. I'm good. And now Josiah Williams he doesn't come off the floor in the summer league. And he's not going to come off the floor. He's not going to come off the floor during the season. I mean, kid's good. He's good.
Yeah.
He just had to get in shape and had to learn the system. But he understands. Like I don't really have parental problems with parents and stuff because it's black and white with us, Coach. We don't really. It's not one of those things where it's like we hide it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, look, this is the standard. If you meet the standard, you play. If you don't meet the standard, you don't play. We put it in writing. So I have a contract every year. I got this from my old boss, Coach Huff. He's at Voorhees, head coach at Voorhees College.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for him at Duluth High School. And he used to have this contract, man. And it was like maybe like 7 standards on there. Like you got to be at like treatment. You had to initial it and sign it at the bottom. And, when he first did it, I was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was basically a contract saying, this is what you have to do to play here. If that makes sense. Like, initially sign it. Non-negotiable.
Yeah, these are non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables.
That's great. I love that.
This is what it is. And the first year I got my head job, I forgot about it. I was sitting in the pandemic one day. I was just going bored, like we all were, sitting in, doodling around on the computer. And I said, man, I forgot about this. So I said, I'm going to do this next year when we play again. Did it, and it just held everybody to a standard, man. Because it's like, you signed this, you initialed it, it means you read it. And we read it with you.
Yep.
And this is the standard, and this is what it is. And, man, again, we're not a perfect basketball team by no means. Like, we got a lot of flaws, a lot of flaws. It'll never look good to me. But at the same time, we work through those flaws because guys play as a team. Like you guys were talking about earlier, you would love to see us play because, we're going to have games, we're going to turn it over 20 times, but we're going to get 20 stops in a row. And you're going to be like, okay, they threw it away 20 times. They got 20 stops and hit a big 3 at the end and won. So it is what it is.
It's not always pretty. And that's the biggest thing to know is, wins don't have to be pretty. As long as we're learning from every single win. Everybody talks about, like you can learn from this loss. I'd rather learn from a win, me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want absolutely. Listen, man, it was not pretty. And we won 25 games last year. 22 of them were double digits, just because they just moved the ball and they did what we asked, man. And now don't get it twisted. It was games where we won by 20 and we had 20 turnovers in the region championship game. No, we had 18 or whatever. It's a crazy number. But we still managed to win the game, and because guys play hard and they play as a team. And they do it. They trust the system. They trust it because we do a lot with our scouts.
And so, I would assume a lot of those trust in the system. My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. I would assume a lot of those turnovers are probably more as a result of just playing so hard as opposed to just some mental lapse or just some dumb turnover, right?
Man, we'll have 4
not
turnovers.
All, but I would assume that most of them are probably more that way.
We'll have 4 turnovers from diving on the floor and throwing it away.
Yeah.
We'll literally have a kid, like we had to tell them last year, when you dive on the floor, just hold it. Just, if they tied up, they tied up. Because we were getting, like my kids, they dive. Again, man, it's a standard. We don't talk about playing hard. We never do. I don't bring them in, all right, guys, you got to play hard today. They know that. So they dive on the floor, they take charges, and we'll get it, and they'll just throw it, and they'll get it. I'm like, damn. But it drives you crazy. Yeah, that's why I don't have any hair, man. It drives you crazy. It drives me crazy now. Like,
just thinking about it.
Drives me crazy, man. It drives me crazy. But at the same time, like I said, man, I wouldn't trade this job in for nothing. And when I got to Druid Hills, it was in good shape that year, but traditionally they weren't really that good. Last state championship was 1957. And we won 25. And it wasn't a school record. 27 is a school record. But that was the most wins since 1971, something like that. But I haven't been traditionally that good. People thought I was crazy when I first took the job. Man, you crazy. You going to a dead man's job. I can't believe you take that job. Stroud, you're a fool. I can't believe you even do that. And I'm like, well, when I was assistant coach, most of my assistant coaching days were at Shiloh High School for Coach Kim Rivers. And Coach Kim Rivers, man, I tell you what, he was the one that pretty much taught me how to be a high school basketball coach, because he was hard on me just like he was the kids. And he pretty much showed me how to be a professional. And I brought what I did at Shiloh over here, and it's going pretty good right now. So
yeah,
I'm just happy with the state of the program. I'm happy, man. I'm happy with the state of the program. I really am. Yeah.
That's good to hear, Coach. That's great to hear. Before I want to get to Shiloh, because I know that was a crazy experience. I know that did a lot for you.
Yeah.
And, but before you played for your dad in high school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you played for your dad in high. Was it all 4 years?
Yes.
Yeah. So played for your dad, and then you ended up being his assistant coach, right, for a year or two.
Yes.
We talked about how you had that job lined up. You took your job. Well, all right. You played for your dad. You coached on him for a year. What's that like? Was it hard playing for your dad, and then was it different? Being under him as an assistant. Just what was that like?
Playing for my dad was so fun, man, because he wasn't like your average dad. Like, he wasn't one of those dads that was your coach that just every time you did something bad, he would just rip you alive, right? Yeah. If I did bad, he would treat me just like he would treat the other guys. If I did good, he would treat me just like it was like a coach. It wasn't like my dad.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was hard. Obviously being 16, 17, 18, kids are going to talk. I don't even know how I dealt with it, back then. Kids always, oh, you just playing because your dad. I used to hear it all the time. Oh, you only start because your dad. I only started my senior year. I came out the bench the other 3 years. So,
really?
Oh, you only play. Yeah. I mean, we had really good players, and I was very unselfish. So I didn't care if I started or not. But and then they got, oh, you're only coming off the bench because of your dad. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But as an 18-year-old, man, it taught me how to really be tough. And 17, 18 years old taught me how to be. I had to grow up fast. And so, playing for my dad was a great experience. He played for his dad at Rockdale High School. My granddad won 400 games, man. So,
wow.
He played for his dad. I played for my dad. And so working for my dad was, it was fun. It was really good because it kind of brought me back when I played for him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really. He was at the tail end of his career. He worked 1 year and he retired. That same season. I kind of tried to talk him out of it, but he was ready to go, man. He coached for a long time. He's fifth all time in wins in DeKalb County. And now he's my assistant coach. So
that's awesome.
I didn't realize. Wow.
Yeah, man. Like
He's fifth all time in DeKalb County.
Yeah, fifth
Wow.
all time with 313 wins. He's only 2 wins away from being fourth all time.
Oh,
So,
really?
but I mean, he's done now. So,
Yeah.
but
Unless
man,
you
the
get
kids
sick
love
or
him.
something, is he going to count that on his record?
He would. I know him. Man, man, the kids love him. I mean, they love him. They call him OG.
Hey, we got Penny's dad here too. We call him OG.
Yeah, y'all got an OG too.
We call him OG.
Yeah, man, he OG, man. He's 65. My granddad is actually 86 today. Like his birthday's today, man. So I talked to him. I appreciate it, man. I talked to him today. We just talk hoops, man. It's in the family. But yeah, man, my dad coaching with me is like awesome, and everybody knows like it's a great experience. He scouts game. He goes to games. He scouts. He loves it. Everybody knows him. It's crazy, man, because he'll do whatever I need. I can call him right now. Hey, man, meet me at 8 a.m. Go scout a game. He's like, all right, cool. He ain't doing much.
It is so cool that y'all got 3 generations of just basketball minds.
I was about to say.
I mean, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So I always make this joke with people. I said, my dad, doctor, brother, doctor, mom's nurse. So naturally, I became a basketball coach.
Right. Yeah, man, for sure.
Oh, man. Coach, talk to us about Shiloh a little bit. I know, I mentioned it earlier, but just talk to us about your experience there, kind of your role, players you had, how that developed you as a coach and what it did for you.
Shiloh was a great experience, man. Great players. I'll start with the players. We had Josh Okogie, that's with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yep. He was one of our better players. Kareem Bruton that played at Memphis, he was one of our players.
Okay.
Man, it was a great experience. I got a chance to be around really good players every day. I got a chance to be around really good people. They were some good people first. Mm-hmm. I was young. I first got my assistant coaching job at 23. And I just remember, man, because my dad had taken a year off. So I went with Coach Rivers. And I was just thinking it was going to be a year or two. And then I'd go join my dad if he ever got a job, which he did. And we were winning so much, I just stayed with Coach. And, the experience was, man, Coach Rivers was like, man, he was the best defensive mind that I've ever been around in my life. And, he was really good with just picking people apart, man. He just pick you apart. And guys play hard, man. You guys, man, listen, if you want to see a team that plays hard, they still play hard. If you want to see a team that gets after it, and I mean, they bring heavy, heavy pressure. I mean, every night, trapping multiple defenses after timeout. Like, I learned all that. And I was like a basketball encyclopedia for Coach Rivers, man.
Yeah.
And, he just taught me so much about basketball. I thought I knew basketball until I went to Shiloh, right? So every day he would challenge me, like every single day. He would challenge me every day. He would come in someday, hey, you're going to run practice today. Or, because I was his JV head coach as well. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, you're going to run practice today. Or, hey, you're going to run a workout this whole week. And so, I would get into the point where he would tell me, hey, you running it, like my second or third year, hey, you running the workout this week. And I was like, shoot, coach, we already went this morning at 6.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I already group text the guys. We got in this morning. So, I mean, I can stay this evening, but we already went. If you want them to do a 2 a day, and he's like, you mean to tell me y'all already went this morning? I'm like, yeah. Or he would say, this week you got practice. I need you to type up practice plan. Oh, I did. So I was always ahead of the game, and I was always thinking like our head coach. Mm-hmm. So, I was always working, man. That experience was great because it made me who I was today. I wasn't making a whole lot of money. Really wasn't making much of nothing. But the experience and the resume, man, just the resume. And, I took what I learned from him and Coach Huff and my dad, and I just, took it over to Druid Hills. And, but, yeah, man, I owe my whole coaching career to Coach Rivers, man. I mean, you guys y'all have to see it to believe it, man. You just have to see it. I mean, the pressure that they put on teams, man, just man-to-man, zone pressure, just trapping. It's like, man, I remember when I was young and I used to play, sometimes I had to bring my shoes and play scout team point guard, right? I'd go out there and I was 23, 24, 25. I was playing. I was getting up and down. Felt good getting up and down every day. Man, I went out there one time and tried to play with Josh and them. It was almost like it was like they were pressing, and usually he didn't press. It was like, all right, Stroud, you're going to get it. You're going to play half court 5-on-5. That particular day, he was like, yeah, we're going to press today. So just get your legs loose and get ready. So I'm like, okay, I'm 25, they 17, 18, Ain't no 17, 18-year-old about to beat me. I don't care who, you know what I'm saying? Man, I remember they were trapping and running all over the place, man. It was almost like it was 8 guys out there, 8, 9 guys. It was only 5, and it felt like I said, I'm either getting old or y'all are really good.
Yeah.
And I knew then my basketball playing days were winding down.
Oh my God.
I knew then. Yeah, Josh Okogie.
And it happens quick, Coach. It happens quick.
Man,
They ended me, Coach. Josh Okogie ended my career because I remember when they stole the ball from me. They were trapping me in a corner, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" And I tried to pass out. Well, I did pass it out, and it got picked off. And they came down and they lobbed it up to Josh. He went up and dunked it. I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I think this is it. I don't need to be playing with them anymore."
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man, it was a great experience, though, man. I was there for 6 years. I worked for Coach Huff for 1, my dad for 1, and then I got my head job. So year 8, I got my head job. So I was an assistant I was an assistant year 9. I was an assistant for 8 seasons. 8 seasons. So 6, 1 and 1. So
Okay.
awesome.
Yep.
And you said Coach Rivers, right, is still at Shiloh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I saw him yesterday. They playing in the same summer league as us. Still bringing heavy pressure.
I was about to ask if you know, I'm sure you still have a relationship with him. I was going to ask.
Oh, absolutely.
You still asking questions.
Bringing that heavy pressure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I talked to him this morning. Yeah, they were pressing yesterday, man to man, full court.
Yeah.
They took now they running and jumping now. The guy was dribbling down. So they cleared it out. I said, don't clear it. And as soon as they cleared it, here he comes. So yeah, I talked to him this morning, man. I'm like, yo, I got to sit down and talk to you about the run and jump because we ran a little run and jump last year, but it didn't look like that. it was an accident. We ran run and jump last year by accident.
Yeah,
we just came in one day, a kid was dribbling down the floor, and somebody ran up and he got a steal, and they just started doing it every day.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, we never did talk about it. He was dribbling down the floor. Here come the kid, threw it away. He was like, and then they started doing it, and we just was like, all right, that's called a run and jump. I don't know where y'all supposed to be, but just do it. Just jump in the air, run and jump, try to make a live pass, try to steal it. And that's what they were doing.
Trial and error, man. Try different things on the stick.
That's it. Until we played Marist, and we tried it on them, and they hit like 11 threes, and then we cut it off. Yeah.
Man, that is funny. Coach, I tell you what, we like to wrap it up with some rapid fire. You mind doing some rapid fire questions with us?
Absolutely. Let's do it, man.
Here we go. First question. Last technical.
Never got a technical in a regular season game. I got ejected. I used to get ejected on purpose in the summer. So probably 2 years. When I first got my job, I got kicked out on purpose at a summer league game just to show the guys I was.
You were about it?
Yeah, I was about it. But in the regular season, man, I got a clean slate.
Okay.
In the 3 years, I didn't get one. Even when I was a JV head coach, I didn't get one. Hell, I didn't have to get one. We had good players.
Yeah. What did you get a technical for when you in the summer game? What'd you get thrown out for? Excuse me, my fault. What'd you get thrown out for?
I ran on the floor.
You ran on the floor?
Yeah, I ran on the floor and had this big blow up like I was putting on.
That's funny.
Yeah, I told the ref after I was putting on. He know it.
Yeah. You all right? Next one. You ever dunked a basketball on a 10-foot rim?
No, I'm too short. 5'8.5", 5'9". That ain't gonna cut it.
Volleyball, tennis ball, anything?
No, I can't touch the rim, and I don't even want to. I let my guys touch it.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
You are up 3 at the end of a game. Do you foul or let it play out?
Foul all day. I went to a clinic 2 years ago that was the same topic as that. It was called "Do you foul up 3 with 10 left?" And the answer in parentheses said yes. So I just went with it because the numbers say do it. So I follow the analytics. But
Science.
yes, all day long. And I'm pretty sure somebody, if y'all put this out there, the guys that we play against, they're gonna listen to it. But yeah, we're gonna foul you. We're gonna foul you.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. All right. Are you leaving your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half?
Absolutely, especially in the tournament. Yeah. I did last year. Keyshawn would pick up 2. I just look at him and go, and he knew what that meant. He knew what that meant, and he didn't pick it up.
Like that.
Yeah, I would, especially in the tournament, man, because I really don't have, you don't really have much to, because we didn't really have much of a bench, so I had to do a lot of trial and error. But yeah, now if we had depth, probably not, but no depth,
Yeah. All right, you going for the tie or going for the win?
At home, tie. On the road, win.
Hey, okay. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Casual or professional on the sidelines?
Pre-pandemic, professional, now quarter zip.
Yeah.
I'm just following the trend of what Bob Huggins and I see Tommy is on him. Quarter zip. Well, listen, Huggins been wearing a quarter zip for 30 years now.
Forever.
So he's good. Yeah. So yeah, quarter zip now because I'm casual.
I love it. Okay. Early morning practice or evening or night practice?
Oh, 6 a.m. Let's do it. We get up before the chickens.
Yep.
Up before the chickens. Yeah, all day long.
Up before the chickens. That might be the name of this episode.
Up before the chickens. Yeah,
I love it.
All right. If you were not coaching basketball, what would you be doing?
Oh my God. Referee.
Yeah.
That's a gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be a referee. Or I don't know, Ace. I never wanted to be anything but a coach. Shoot, man, probably have my own business. How about that?
Yeah.
I probably would
cool.
paint stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. All right. You playing the golf, coach?
I do. I go to Top Golf.
Yeah.
I don't like go out. Yeah, I go to Top Golf.
You okay at Top Golf? You got a good swing?
No.
I'm
a good putter. I go to that little place downtown. It's Putt Shack.
Putt Shack?
Putt Shack. I'm good at putting. As far as like swinging, I can't.
All right. Two more. Should every team make the conference tournament?
Yes. Every team should make the conference. Yeah, make the conference tournament. I just feel like if regardless, man, because I'm big on upsets. Because because you see it all the time at ACC tournament. Because I'm a big ACC guy, obviously with Tech being on the street from here. I know Coach Passner really well, and the ACC tournament, you see upsets all the time, and you see Virginia get knocked off, you see Florida State got knocked off. So yes, I think every team should have a chance to compete in the tournament, in the conference tournament. I do. I just don't feel like it should be a select amount of teams because again, I like upsets, and especially in the NCAA tournament because I won some prizes sometimes in the NCAA tournament with some upsets.
Absolutely upsets, man. All right, coach. Last one. LeBron or Jordan?
Oh, Michael Jordan all day long.
Yeah,
not even close.
Yeah, not even close. Not even close.
It's close, but not that close.
But really, not that close.
It's close, but it's not that close. See, I grew up in the era with Michael Jordan. I grew up in the era kind of with LeBron too.
Right.
But I just remember as a kid, Jordan was a killer, man.
Yeah.
He was a killer. He was a killer. He was one of those guys that you get about him with 8 seconds left, it's over. You get LeBron the ball 8 seconds left, and it's over, but it's over on the other side. It's like he's going.
Oh my God.
He's gonna throw. But LeBron is obviously the second best player of all time behind Michael Jordan. I don't care what nobody says.
Nah, okay.
Second best player. Oh, in the same neighborhood. No, it's Kobe then him. Kobe
what?
Then him. Yeah, I gotta go Kobe.
It's Mike then Kobe then LeBron?
Yeah.
Coach, nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go Kobe because I just watched Kobe, man. He was a killer, man. He was a killer. He was a killer.
He was.
All right. Hey, I actually got one question too, Asa.
What you got?
Celtics or Warriors?
Yeah, we got game 3 to watch here in a second. We wrap this up.
Yeah. That's a good one. My heart says Warriors, but my common sense is telling me Celtics.
Okay. I said Celtics in 7. I
got Warriors in 7. Although the Celtics are down or up 22-9 right now, I still
they are.
I still got Warriors.
That's I can see, man. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Ooh, it's getting ugly.
All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Then I got to go watch this game. Y'all at the crib watching the game. I got to get out of here.
That's it, man. You still at work, man.
I appreciate you coming on. Where can people find you on Twitter?
At Coach Stroud 3.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm always tweeting, man. At Coach Stroud 3, man. I love tweeting. I'm tweeting about all sports. I love baseball too.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm a big Braves fan.
Yes, sir. Hey, come on.
We got a big Braves fan.
I wasn't a huge fan of the Freddie Freeman, but I trust the organization.
Me too. Me too. And we're on a 6-game winning streak. We were down 2-1 just a minute ago. before I flipped it. We was down 2-1. Hopefully, when I flip it back, let's see when I flip it back. Now we're up 6. Now we're up 6-2. Bottom of the 7. So we're playing good. We won 6 in a row. So looks like tonight we're gonna beat the A's and have 7 in a row.
Hey, it was around the same time last year where we started, getting it rolling just a little.
Yeah, man. We only a game and a half out in the wild card, 8.5 out in the East. We'll catch the man. They'll fold shortly. Yeah,
this is hilarious because this is the most live sports talk we've had ever on this podcast. So,
really?
Yeah. So when it come Friday, when this thing comes out, every prediction, is probably, it's gonna be
it's either gonna be really wrong or really right.
Really wrong or really right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna wrap up real quick. You can find myself on Instagram at Ace of Spades with the Z on the end. You can find me on Twitter at Coach Ace of Spades. You can find Nathan on Instagram at Coach Nate Moran. You can find him on Twitter at Coach Nate Moran. You can find Mind of a Coach on Twitter at Mind of a Coach Pod, and you can find us on Instagram at Mind of a Coach. Coach Stroud, appreciate it again, man. Best of luck to you, dog.
Thank you, man.
Let me talk to you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. See y'all, man. Appreciate it.
All right, dog.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir.
And daughters of the Dharma, good people get down. Free candy for the masses, sweet with stereo sound. Like the Vedas and the Gitas in the breakbeat tune. Automator on the fader, corner shop with the boom. Slapping hands with my brothers as we rise to the sun. Les enfants feel the rhythm of the rhymes you stone. Same on appel, baby doll, for your pleasure tonight. Here's the gender with the sweets, we be like